In this video, I want to show you someone that made a really good right turn at a red light, but if that turn had been done a second later or 1.5 seconds later, it would have been a really bad turn. So the point of this video is to show you that these right turns at red lights really require you to be fully aware of what's happening and when something is going to happen and what you should be thinking about as you're coming up to this intersection. So in this case, we're not the ones making the right turn at red light, but I was particularly impressed by a driver that seemed to do the right thing, whereas so many other people don't even do this. So I appreciated to see at least one person do this correctly. Now, we're in the through lane and there's a turn lane here. And we can see in front of us, we have two red lights. So those are for the through lanes. And then we have a green arrow right now, which is hard to see because of the distortion, but right beside it, there's a sign that says left turn signal. So I'm thinking if I were coming up to make a right turn here, that if the person in this left turn lane going in the same direction as us is getting an advanced left turn signal, then chances are, not always, chances are the person that is across from them on the oncoming traffic side that's sitting in the left turn lane might be getting an advanced turn signal too. And so I don't have to necessarily guess. I can just look and see, yes, this bus is now trying to go. Why are they going when everybody else is stopped? It's because they're probably facing the same type of left turn signal light as we are. Now, this vehicle came up here and made a beautiful stop behind the stop line. So we should give him a round of applause for that, because so many people don't even do that. By the way, if you don't do that, it's an immediate fail in the road test if you have a red light. So yes, I'm applauding them, but it's just something that they should have been doing anyway, but so many people don't. Anyway, going back a little bit here, this person is waiting for that bus to turn. So that was also a very smart thing for them to do, right? There are two lanes here where they're turning, but they weren't sure where that bus was going, so they didn't try to make a turn at the same time as that bus. It would just not be a good idea. And then after that, they made the turn. Now, I don't know if they did a shoulder check before they made their turn. Probably they didn't, if statistically speaking. This just sounds so bad, but that's what you're supposed to do before you attempt to make a turn there. But the reason why I said at the beginning of this video, a turn that was really nicely done could have turned into a really bad turn in about a second's time, is that we should be thinking, after this advanced light is done and this light turns green, who's going to get the walk signal, right? We see a pedestrian dressed all in black here, and they're pointing towards that crosswalk. So this driver should have been asking themselves, yeah, I'm making this turn, but literally as I'm about to make that turn, the light turns green. So were they so aware, were they so present that they knew that everything was going to work out before that light turned green? I don't know. I would hope that they're that aware of what's happening around them, but my guess is most people come here, and because they're not even sure what they're doing on the road, they just kind of roll and then they just make the turn. They miss the pedestrian here, they miss a cyclist. That's how we get so many hurt pedestrians. So anyway, the better thing, if I was coming up to make this turn, is I would have just sat there after that bus had made that turn, because I know after that light, and even in this case, before this advance is done, we're getting now the green light. So because there's only one vehicle, or in that case the bus, just waiting to turn left here, the opposing or the oncoming traffic's left turn signal has ended, and so now ours is coming on, and probably their through light is going to come on shortly after while ours just goes to red. But the point I'm trying to make is there was a very small window of opportunity for this vehicle to try to make this turn on a red light after this vehicle had made their turn and before the pedestrian started walking again. And to try to use that window of opportunity more often than not leads to somebody being cut off, in this case the pedestrians. And so also as a pedestrian, you should always be thinking, there's a car in this turn lane and I'm getting a walk signal. Are they actually going to yield to me to walk here, or does it feel like they're just in a rush to go? If they're in a rush to go, you should be thinking twice about stepping into that crosswalk in case they're not paying attention. So again, the best thing there would have been for this SUV to make their turn really perfect is just once the light turns green, putting their front wheels into the crosswalk that's immediately in front of their car, waiting for not only this person that's wearing all black, and they're just blending really into this asphalt here. It's really hard to see them coming up here. And there's also somebody else wearing all black walking out this way. And so this is why when you're learning to drive, you have to really get to a point where you really understand what's going to happen with that red light. Okay, this person's getting a left turn signal, but then after that I will get the green light, but that means the pedestrians here might get the walk signal, so I need to check for them and I need to wait until I can actually make that turn safely. So pay attention to these lights and how they operate, and if you need to, just go grab a coffee, go stand at one of these busy intersections and just study the cycle of the light, right? Like as it changes from green, yellow to red, it's gone to red, who's going to get the turn signal. And every intersection, the operation of the turn signals might be different, but there's only so many different ones, right? We've got the regular intersection lights, we've got the protected left turn signals, we've got the advanced left turn signals, and then some of them will say left turn signal delayed, so that means that they might come on at a different time than you would expect. So the takeaway from this is get really good with figuring out when to make these right turns at red lights, or should you be making a right turn at a red light if your light is then going to change to green. What is the threat there? Because these are not things you want to go onto the road test and then kind of just be like this, because the examiner is going to know right off the bat that you're not really sure about what it is you're doing, and you might get lucky and make the turn and it was safe and you might end up getting your license, but then in real life, do you want to be on the road not knowing when you should be making that turn? So I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.